In my last book, when I spoke about octave, where we live life in a certain octave and things above and below that point are not comprehensible to us, well, I had thoughts that stated that we need to expand that octave to try to see things that are not in the original point of view. But now, perhaps I have come to a realization that when I say we need to tune to that one note, that is like we do need to focus. Instead of the whole octave, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, or G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we can just say A or B. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Maybe do. Let's focus on the dough. The dough. The money. I discovered it. I found the answer. So that's what we've got to do. No, but really, the tuning fork, it's got that one pitch. We have got to find our one tune. I believe that is where it naturally falls, where it is easiest. My natural pitch is not to sit on the bed and read a book because I would be too nervous. There would be something where I feel like I need to be doing something, and it would be stressful to sit and read because I would be needing to do something, and then other things are too much stress, too much work, angry people, and so forth. I get tired and I don't want to do it when it is over a certain amount of stress. So there is a middle ground. Right now, I am most peaceful, most happy when I'm riding my bike. I know when I'm working out, doing cardio, my heart rate, I feel best like I'm working out, is around 160 beats per minute. So 160 beats per minute, that's my tune. Not on that every day, all day long. I couldn't sustain that. I wouldn't want to sustain that. But for sometimes, like maybe an hour, that feels good. So for an hour every 24 hours or so, whatever it may be, bring up my heart rate for an hour or two, and I'm good. But it's not just that, it's a whole day's worth of stuff. I feel like I need time to study, feel like I need time to relax, I need time to be with my husband, that personal time, that together time, when I'm touching him, my skin touching his skin, that's important. Whether it's sitting on the couch, holding hands, watching TV, or leaning up against each other, snuggling in bed, that is important. I need that to be balanced. That is the baking soda in my cookies. Or it might be the butter. Probably the butter, because I like a lot of it. Also, being outside, that's an ingredient in my recipe too. I don't need a lot of it, maybe just the salt, just a little bit. But without it, blah, things wouldn't be as good as they are. Peace is flowing like a river. You can't step in the same river twice. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. All this is part of us, which we gather, and they could be pieces of that puzzle. So peace, stream, peace, river. Peace is a flowing river flowing out of you and me, and life is a dream. Life is but a dream and always changing. You cannot step into the same river twice. That river is always changing. That peace is always changing. That life is always changing. That dream is always changing. It is not a constant, and we must flow with the river, with the stream, with the peace. We must become part of that river, that stream, that peace. Not merely flow with it, but become it. To be at peace, to have peace. Peace and love go hand in hand. To have love, you must have peace and happiness is the pinnacle of all things. The search for truth, truth, T. Happiness, H. Peace, P. Love, L. River, R. What's that spell? THPLR. The pillar. The strength. which supports the structure, which supports you, which supports me. The pillar of strength each and every one of us needs to exist in the world. I'm not a smart person with plenty of wisdom to share. I can't give you the answers, but I can listen. I can hear you and understand, even if your words are silent. I am here for you. If you are in a hole and you can't find your way out, reach out. My hand is there waiting. Call, text, email, pray. I'm here for you. I feel it's so taboo, I can't even say it, but I must. This is the only way I can do this. This is the only way I can help you. Listen to me now. If you ever consider killing yourself, first of all, I want to say don't do it. Secondly, say it out loud, preferably to somebody. State your intentions verbally. The next logical question, although there's nothing logical about suicide, the next logical question is why. Ask yourself why. Because are you sad? Because you hurt somebody or did something terrible or unforgivable? Because you are lonely? Because you are tired of living? Are these answers? No, they are excuses. Fuck excuses. Excuses should not be a part of anyone. Never. And I repeat, never make excuses. There is no place for them in this world. Why did you do something? I did it because I was impelled to do it. Can you control this impelling? To do something? Sensation? Yes. Because you are Superman when it comes to controlling your body and thoughts. You may not have realized it, but you are 100% in control of yourself. Are you angry? Fix it. How? You ask. Fix it. Go inside, look straight at that anger and say, Betty, stop it. And it will make you even more angry. And you can't tell me what to do. Yes, in fact, little missy, I can. I am in control of you. Like it or not, I am you. Now calm the hell down, and you breathe, and you don't fight, and you say yes. It is much nicer to be at peace with yourself and the world. It is much nicer to feel love rather than hate. Life is good. I may have problems every once in a while, but that's okay. Everything is okay. I think some burpees are in order. I know you have heard the old cliche way too many times, tomorrow is a new day, but baby, it's true, and it's a wonderful thing. If you feel so compelled, try to stand up and watch that old faithful sun come up, bringing the light of a new day, and feel that cleansing spirit wash over you. Feel yesterday evaporate off your skin like that fresh morning dew evaporates off the petals of a rose. See your reflection in that droplet. All upside down and backwards. Breathe in and live. We are here. We as people exist on this planet together, and we could be so totally different than each other, we can't even realize it. From the person walking on the street carrying their belongings in a plastic bag to somebody living in New York City, even if they too are carrying their belongings in a plastic bag as well. They are two totally different people. I've lived a lot of places and I've seen a lot of things, and that's what I'm made of. All those pieces and parts that I've collected over the world is what makes Betty, Betty. Sometimes a person does not always have to be deep and interesting. I can just exist quietly, live my little life, quit preaching and teaching, just exist, to do my thing and leave everybody alone. Why are you reading this right now? Are you doing it because you know Betty? You just bought this book to help her out? If so, thank you. Are you reading it because it's interesting? That would be nice, to have written a book that people find interesting. That would make me feel really good to know that. Are you reading it because you are bored and have nothing else to do? I don't know. There are plenty of other things to do besides read my book. Are you reading it because you can relate? Because you say yes? That is how I see the world. We are all here together, and we all have to exist together. We try to help out in every way we can, and sometimes we could care less. Sometimes the only reason we are existing is because we woke up this morning. Woke up, opened our eyes. Well, we say, I'm here, damn it, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to get up, get dressed, and do it to the best of my ability. Because you know what? I'm me. And me is an important person. I tell you what, there's only two important people in this entire world. Those two people are you and me. I know, I'm silly. I just thought of that. I had to say it. I mean, you know that encompasses the whole entire human civilization and everything else. You could be your pet dog, or you could be my pet tree. You is everybody, me is everybody, and together we make the world. Here's something I want to say to me as well as to you. This is something that I feel is important. Be deliberate in your actions. Do things to do them, not just stumbled across or done half-heartedly. Maybe I've touched on this before, but it's important. When I look out back and see a beautiful garden that we made, but then I also see grass growing up in it, which is something I need to address. I'll need to pull those weeds, even though I look at them like, ugh, I don't feel like doing that. But what else is more important than pulling those weeds? Writing a book? Thinking about stuff? That's not really important in life. I mean, of course it is to think, to do what you want to do, but there are responsibilities. This is my garden. I'm not working for anybody. I can let these weeds grow up, but these weeds are more than just weeds in a garden. They are representative of my insides as well. You need to do things in life deliberately. You need to tend to your garden. You need to always take care of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually. You need to look in the mirror and say, I need to take a bath. I need to wash my hair. I need to brush my teeth. I need to wash my clothes. I need to make my bed. I need to scrub the tub and toilet. I need to iron my clothes. What? Iron my clothes? Who does that? No. You have to iron your clothes because it's important to look the best you can. If your shirt you're wearing today needs to be tucked in, tuck it all the way in. Wear a belt and be proud. Say, I am sharp. Sharp. Life is friendlier the sharper you are. There's a story of a meat cutter and how you could go into his shop and hear that thwack, 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 and the meat just falling off the animal in perfect cuts. And the meat cutter was asked, how often do you sharpen your knife? And the meat cutter replied, I haven't sharpened it since I've gotten it. I don't dull it. I don't hit the bone. I cut through the channels. I go with the natural way the meat is attached to the bone. I go around everything. You let the meat tell you where to go. You go in between. You don't force your way through. You don't hit the bone. You go the most precise, the most accurate way. Go where you need to go. Weave in and out. Follow the natural path. Don't clumsily stumble through the day. Be deliberate in your actions. You get out of bed and you put both your feet firmly on the ground. Stand up straight and you are sharp. If you see weeds growing up in your garden, don't look at them as if you're a failure. Don't look at them as it's like I have failed, I let weeds grow up in my garden. No, you look at it as soon as you notice it and say, I need to do something about this. I need to pull these weeds and I need to pull them now. You do something about that. That is not hitting the bone. That's going around. You get to a point where you need to make a turn. You quickly make that turn and you keep on going. You change that path. You don't sit there and think about it. Is this the right thing to do? Oh well. Your mind knows exactly what to do, where to go, how to succeed, how to get along. Your mind already knows these things even if you don't. So listen to it. It will tell you what to do and where to go. Don't question it. When you see a wall in front of you, turn around. Go through that maze. If you made a mistake, if you come to a wall, don't cry about it. You don't bang on the wall and question, how did this happen? You just turn around, go back the way you came, find your path again. You make everything perfect because this is your world. Why would you want to live in a garbage heap? Why would you want to live in an imperfect world? So you get up and you put on your gloves and you put on your boots and you pull those weeds. You can say, oh, I could be working out right now. I could be doing something else. I am wasting time pulling these weeds. Bullshit. This is what you're supposed to do, to be doing right now, and you know it because you are perfect. And nobody's perfect is just an excuse. Don't listen to that BS about nobody's perfect. That is just an excuse. Some people act like it's important to be not perfect. Some people act like there is something wrong with you if you try to be perfect. I don't understand that mentality. I don't understand that way of thinking. Why were people brought up in this way? Why was I taught that it's wrong to be perfect? People don't like to claim they're perfect. It is only something for the gods. I think it's some kind of laziness. It's always a fight against yourself to stay sharp. You spill something on the floor, you clean it up. It's what you got to do. Some things you kind of got to figure out. How do you do it? The reason you haven't done something yet is because you haven't figured out how to do it. That's just an excuse. There are enough resources to use to figure out anything. The other day at work, a machine I was using broke. I did what I could do to try to reset it. I took the battery out and it still didn't work. And so I said, oh, well, I guess I'll just have to do this later when somebody else fixes it. And I set it down. I started thinking about it. What would somebody else do? How was somebody else going to fix this machine? Well, at my work, there's something called the help desk. They can do things like reset our computers remotely. Well, it took me like an hour to think of this, but I thought, call the help desk. So I called the help desk and they were able to fix it in a matter of minutes. So I could have just put it down, stopped thinking about it, and went on and did other things and left that for another day. But I knew everything has a solution. You just got to figure it out. And everything can be figured out with thinking. So you pay attention in life and you think. And you can figure it out, and you can fix it, and you can be strong and not lazy. You can be strong mentally. You can take these life lessons and put them to everyday use. I look at my plants and say, oh, these tendrils coming off, it's so scraggly. But it took them so long to grow, I can't just cut them off. But you look at it, and you ask yourself, would it look better without these? Yes, it would. So you cut them off. It's your plant and you can do this. If somebody else's plant, you should ask permission first. You go out there and do everything deliberately. And as you're working, you concentrate on every single inch, and you do this to the best of your ability, and you may see something else that needs to be done that you didn't notice before, and you do that. And that is the road to perfection. Perfection is not asceticism. There are some things that nature put here that go with it, and you must leave these. It won't be perfect without some of the things that have grown here on their own. Just because you didn't put them in here in the first place does not necessarily mean you have to pull it out. You stand back and you look and you say, what belongs here? What should go? This is life. This is you. Look inward and see the things that have built up in your mind. And you may say, all these things are what makes up the person I am. You may think you have to keep all those things, but you don't. There are things that have developed over the years which just don't belong. Maybe there's some intolerance built up that does not suit you, which has become part of you. Because you have lived with it for so long, you need to evaluate this and ask yourself, is this really a part of who I am? You remove those. You pluck out those weeds, inch by inch, square foot by square foot. You stand back and evaluate what you see. Remove what does not belong and keep what does. Sometimes just a little bit of grooming makes the world a difference. After you have done your work and you step back and see what you have done, there's no reason not to give yourself a pat on the back and say good job. You don't need to ask anyone else to tell you that you did a good job. Rely on yourself and believe in yourself, but don't neglect to do this. Don't neglect to give yourself an attaboy, because you deserve it. Tell yourself good job and move on. You should have kept this up. The time to evaluate yourself is now, not later, not sooner, now. Not yesterday or tomorrow, but now. This is the only way for you to grow. Get rid of the old, the out of date. Get rid of all the things that may be holding you back from growing. Weed out those weeds so your garden can grow. It may not be a one-day process, but something ongoing, something that takes days and months and years. Constant upkeep. Sometimes it may be tiring and too hard for you. Some days it might rain, but that's okay. It does not mean you're a failure and you need to quit. It means do it when you can and do it right and do it wholeheartedly, because you are perfect. Never forget. Open up your eyes. Keep knowing, keep growing, and keep being the best you can be. Perhaps this elephant is even larger than you or I have ever imagined. The blind men in the elephant, one feels the trunk, says it must be some kind of snake animal. The other feels the leg and says, no, it's more like a column. The third feels the side and says, no, it's more like a wall. This is who we are. As I have titled my last book, A Section of the Elephant could go on for millions of miles. There is something, but it is so huge, and we all feel such a tiny portion. This garden, this yard, this earth, this grass, these leaves that are falling off the tree overhead, these sticks, these ants, the Book of Tea by Okakuro Kakurozo. It all is a portion of the elephant. This dirt dauber that keeps landing on me, why does it keep landing on me? Is it trying to tell me something? It goes deep into space. We see the Milky Way, galaxy, and all the galaxies, and the Hubble telescope took pictures of, and we see it's infinite. And we can only assume it's infinite because that is all we can comprehend. It is hard not to get caught up in the mundane things of life because that is all we know. We can tell ourselves to stop focusing on the I, but I believe that the I is the key, and focusing on that I, that ego, and understanding it completely, and understanding why we do the things we do and why we think the thoughts we think, and these will open up new doors in our understanding. The reason we are fond of certain things is because we find some way to relate these things to a part of us. It matches up with something deep inside of us. When I was a child, my grandmother would call me on the phone and teach me math, and I would hold the phone with one hand and hit the keys of the piano with the other hand while I listened to her and did the math, and somehow that relation between the notes on the piano and the math she was teaching me made some kind of sense. I could see a relation, and I learned math. So two seemingly unrelated things like math and the keys of a piano made some kind of sense to me. I never learned math or to play the piano, but I could see something there. I think there are many more correlations between two seemingly unrelated things. I just haven't found them yet. But different people have. Whether it's shooting guns at targets, some people don't know exactly why they like the things they like. It just feels good to them. Running, exercising, or doing math. Whatever it is, there's more to it. There's something inside of us that we don't really understand, but it's there, under the layers, part of that elephant. So I don't know if one person can see the big picture, but the more this idea is brought to light, the more focus can be put on it, perhaps understand it better what's going on. Why do we even want to know? What can we get out of this? Why knowing? This knowing, why do we even care? Why do these thoughts even go through our minds? Why are we not satisfied with just pulling the weeds and singing songs in our minds? Because we are humans. We are always trying to figure out. We are scientists put on this earth to discover what it is. And remember or not, we volunteered for this. We worked hard to prove we were the best. We worked hard and we got sent here. So many of us have forgotten. So many of us have got caught up in this life on Mars. Now I know why the ants bite me. Because I'm a weed in their garden. It's a lot of work pulling all these weeds. I should have paid more attention.